Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. Today we are doing readings about emanating moon. I'm going to teach you a thing. So here's the thing I'm going to teach you. Today I'm teaching you how to emanate moon. And what that involves is, it's basically that. So I want you to envision and sort of like full body envision being like the moon and just emanating the same kind of energy, like feeling that energy coming from you. And what this does is, first of all, it makes you feel like you're impervious to other influences, which is really useful, especially nowadays. Secondly, it allows you to reflect back the light that you want to reflect back. And so this is where you're going to choose the source radiance, basically. So everything is radiance, and this is scientifically backed up. Everything is energy, and energy is light, etc., etc., etc. But you want to basically, you're not going to go with the garish lights of the mundane. You're going to go with the source radiance. And this is in all things, even like that crabby old lady, and even in that barky dog, and like everything that there is a radiance within all things. And when you emanate moon, you can envision that's the light that you're reflecting back, that you're just letting yourself gently reflect out. And what that does is it reminds the things that the radiance comes from of their true nature, and thereby creates healing in the world. So what we're going to do today is we have 4 cards from the White Light Oracle. And each of these is going to help you with that. You can feel into the cards, and maybe one of them has a particularly resonant message for you about how to go about doing what I've just described. Or you might listen to more than one of them might call to you. So it's all going to be basically that. So feel into the cards. One or more of these will have a message for you about emanating moon. I will put the timestamps in the description. I'm using the Birch runes because I'm using the Birch runes. And I will see you at the readings. Bye! Hello, card number 1, people. So let's start with turning this card from the White Light Oracle and see what you're going to be using the most to start with this experience of emanating moon and reflecting back the source radiance to heal the people around you. And we have Sovereign Queen Maeve, or Mab. I pronounced it wrong. So basically what she represents in this oracle deck is boundaries, basically being able to create and maintain boundaries, which is extremely important, especially for people who are doing healing work, especially for people who are doing light work. You definitely want to make those boundaries maintained and keep them for your own health and safety. So that's definitely part of it for you, is to make sure that, and the nice thing about when you do this is that you will find that just being that will create a boundary for you, because you're putting your shining sort of thing is like, you're not shining you're reflecting. You are shining you to a certain extent, but the focus is on your gentle shine, but then what's really coming off of you is reflection. And what you're reflecting is the radiance, it's the source radiance. So that in itself creates a boundary for you that does protect you. You'll be amazed, like when you try this, how protected you will feel, because things won't be able to get in at you because they're being reflected. But what you're reflecting is the radiance, which is even more healing and even more protective for you. So let's get some runes down. Yes, it's all about the shine. And get some clarity on that. That's the blank rune. Yes, yes. Yes, city, yes, yes. So I'm going to lay down all the runes in this spread first, and then we're going to read them. Doopy-doo. How are you doing? How are we doing today? Whenever this reading finds you. This being a general reading. Although it is a full moon, or it's almost a full moon right now, so that was sort of the idea behind doing this particular set of readings today. Okay, your central issue, card number 1, people, we have, not issue, but your central thing about this thing that we're doing is Dagas, the rune of the breaking of the day. And this has to do with, well, it's full illumination, it's revelations, it's just that shine, it's the sun coming over the horizon and just blazing and bringing the light and color. And so that's basically the idea. You know, we're doing this thing where we're going to be having our own shine, but it's going to be what is going to be protecting us and what is going to be healing those around us is the reflection of the radiance, the gentle reflection of the radiance, the best radiance, the source radiance, with which we are going to heal those that it's coming from, with which we are going to do that. Grammar. So, and reminding ourselves that this is actually going to act as a boundary, but also to keep your boundaries as well. And this exercise does actually do that. Leading up to this, we have the blank rune. The blank rune is, you know, being very open and sort of stepping into the unknown sort of thing. Like, this is something you haven't done before. It's trackless. But also there is a sense of connection to the divine, which is what you're sort of doing with the connection to, with the reflection of the source energy, the source radiance. This is the divine, whatever the divine is for you. You know, we're not going to enforce anybody else's idea of the divine on you. This is going to be your own mythic truth. So, mythic level truth for you, whatever that means for you. So this is going to bring us to this point where we are going to be basically appearing to be emanating light. This is mostly going to be by the reflection. As we emanate moon, we are reflecting back the source radiance, which is what is going to heal everyone around us, where the radiance is coming from, everyone and everything, because, you know, if we're going to go there, we're going to get a bit animistic as well. We're going to be doing that healing where we're going to be reflecting back the radiance that's coming from everything around us. And that in itself will remind everything what it truly is and will heal it. What is going to help you in this stage? We have Ivaz, which is the rune of the... We have Avaz here, which is why I said it. We have Ivaz, which is the rune of the yew tree. And this has to do with patience, slow growth, slow development, taking things step by step. And that's basically it. Be patient with yourself. Let this happen at its pace. This is not something that is going to be... you can't really force it. You can't push the river on this. But this is something that, you know, you just let it happen the way that it will and observe this, because it's really neat to observe. But yeah, be patient with yourself, be patient with the process, and let it happen. What isn't going to help you is we have Algies, which is the rune of the elk, also known as the moose, and this has to do with protection and support. Couple of ways I'm going to read this. First of all, it's a positive rune in the negative spot, which generally means let's read this as a fear. So you are going to be worried about what kind of support you're going to get doing this, first of all, and what sort of protection you're going to get. And this calls into the picture the whole idea of boundaries. The other thing is, you know, you may feel like you want to go and save the world, and that's, you know, cool, but it's not something you can rush, which is why we have the advice in, you know, if you start to feel like that, bring yourself back up to what is helping, which is Ivaz, which is patience and taking things step by step, letting things happen in their pace. And that's really going to help you when you go forward with this, and then it'll sort of settle that feeling like I'm going to protect everybody. You are, but it's going to have to happen in the pace that it has to happen. So our next step on the path line is Isa. It's also the pin of the middle of the entire reading. It's like holding everything together, which is Isa. This is stillness. This is ice. It's the stillness through which clarity comes. So you are not only emanating your own light, but you're also emanating moon, which is the energy, you know, that moon energy, which is just very quiet, very subtle. It's there. It's not blazing, but what you're doing is you're reflecting back the best light there is in this case, which is the source radiance. And so as you are still within all of that, with the boundary that it creates by doing this, there's going to be clarity coming through, because you're letting yourself be stilled. You're letting yourself have that stillness, and that during that stillness, the clarity will come through to you. What is going to help you with that? We have Tivaz, which is the rune of Tyr. Tyr is the warrior god, but generally we like to see him as having to do with balance and having to do with taking care of the things that need to be taken care of, tending to duties and responsibilities, and also, having that energy to do that, picking up and driving forward as far as like, okay, let's get done what needs to get done. And that's really, really important. So make sure that you're taking care of the things that need to be taken care of for yourself, because that's going to give you that sort of foundation, that grounding, that's going to give you that balance. And also to have that effort to like, this is something that I'm going to do. This is something that this is like a quest of mine to do. What isn't going to help is, once again, you may feel like even overexcited for this. You may be like, I'm going to run around and do this everywhere. It's like, you're going to wear yourself out if you do that. So please just do what you need to do. Try not to overexpose yourself. Try not to wear yourself out. Use your energy very, very, very sparingly in this, because it's not your energy that's going to be the point in this. You are conserving your energy, because we have the queen here, and she has to do with boundaries. So we are allowing ourselves to very gently emanate that lunar energy, as well as reflecting the best radiance that's in everything. And that's it's like even in air, like there's radiance in air. And so instead of running around like the horse, when it's spooked and just running around crazy, we're just going to very much direct our energy to taking care of what needs to be taken care of and maintaining balance while we are still and letting the clarity come through. Our next step, we have Hagalaz, which is the rune of the hailstorm. This does have to do with chaos and things that are out of our control sometimes, but I'm seeing this very much in this particular spread being about natural forces, natural energies, and weather, and basically just nature. This is a way we're basically returning things to their true nature, as far as letting their true nature heal the things. And so there's that, but there's also a sense that once you get really comfortable with this, you will feel ready to walk into a chaotic situation, chaotic weather in quotes, where it's not actually, please don't actually walk into a hailstorm, but you may be like, I'm going to try this in a public space. I'm going to try this on like a subway, where there's like a lot of energies and a lot of people, and just see to build on that from where we started, where we're just going to try to do this. And then we're building on that stillness, the stillness through which clarity comes, maintaining that by making sure we're taking care of what we need to take care of. And then we're going to feel like, okay, let's take this show on the road. Let's go out and see what we can do in a more chaotic setting where more things are out of our control, and see if we can still maintain that. What's going to help you with that is, first of all, remember your inner worth. We have Fehu, which is, Fehu reversed. So Fehu is the rune of wealth and worth. It's your cattle. It's the wealth that you tend. So whatever it is that whenever you always take care of it, will give your life richness and worth. But it is reversed, so it's inner. So it's confidence, self-worth, self-esteem, that kind of thing. And tending your inner cattle, which is like whenever the things that within, whenever you take care of them, will always help you stay feeling rich and worthy. So this is, remember your value, basically, what you've built up to this point. And then when you hit this point where you're actually going to take this out and start using it in the world, having built up and maintained the boundaries that it creates, which is great, because that's what's going to protect you when you go out there. It may be a bit worrying, because we have Thurizaz here. What's going to help you with that is just make sure that you're, just to remind yourself of your worth, remind yourself of your inner value. What isn't going to help is, as I said, Thurizaz, which is the rune of the challenge. It's the thorn, the giant, the gateway. It is upright, so it's something that you're going to be stepping out into. It's a threshold that you're going to cross. So you are worried about it. It's definitely a frightening kind of thing. It's like you've practiced this, and you know that it works, and you know that it's good, but this is going to be the first time that you take this out into the wildness. And so if you start to get really, really worried about the fact that this is a big step, bring yourself back up to, it's like, no, you know what? I'm worthy of this. I know I have the worth to do this. So let's just do this. because I can do that. I feel confident to do it. What this is all going to lead you to is we have Pertho reversed. Pertho is the rune of the lot box. This has to do with surprises and fate. This is surprises that were always there. So this is you learning something about yourself that was always the case, but you didn't realize until you actually put yourself in this situation. Because Pertho here is reversed on the path line. So I do read this as inner. So it's an inner surprise. But it's the lot box. So it's basically whatever's in the lot box was already in the lot box, but now you're noticing it because it's coming up, and it's reversed, so it's inner, so it's something you're learning about yourself. This is going to help you learn about yourself while you're saving the world. So this is very, very nice. So that, card number 1, people, is your reading about emanating moon. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 2, people. Welcome, welcome. Let's turn the card and see where we're going to start with. Lasya of Parvati. Now, I think I know which one this is. Let me just quickly check my quick card. It's been a while since I've done the White Light Oracle. So it is, if I'm not mistaken, yes, there's always a gentler way to do it. So this particular way to address this experience, this is the gentler way, basically. Instead of rushing out and telling everybody to be kind to each other, and forcibly grabbing people by the head and shouting at them that they're healed. What we're doing is we're just basically going out, gently reflecting back to people their source radiance, which is their true source energy, and letting that heal them. You're letting them heal themselves, basically, with their own source energy. And so this is the gentler way. And if you sort of feel like I want to be forceful about this, just remind yourself, there's always a gentler way. You can't even see the words on this. There's always a gentler way of doing whatever it is that you're trying to do, especially in matters of light and healing. So let's get some runes down. I'm going to lay down the entire reading. Ooh, neat. Okay, because that's really interesting. But we had that recently. We had that in the last reading, but it was in a different spot, and also very neat. Was that? Yeah, that's definitely angled this way. So I'm going to lay down the entire reading, and then we're going to read the thing, the whole thing. How are you? Whenever it is that you find this video, because this is for whenever you find it. Where we are, it's December 14th. When I'm making this, we are actually almost on a full moon. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to do a moon video. We're about a week away from the solstice, winter solstice where I am, because I'm in Ontario in Canada. And final rune. Nice. I always like to see Yura as a final rune. Okay, let's see what I can do with this. It's sort of rumpled. All right, central point of this particular reading, card number 2, people, where your card is Lasya of Parvati, which is there's always a gentler way to do things. Central issue, we have Hagalaz, which is in the hailstorm. This has to do with chaos, things that are out of our control, nature, weather, natural forces, natural energies. So that's really what we are focusing on in this, is while we are looking for that gentler way of doing things. That's one of my hair. So we basically are, trying to recall our true nature and trying to recall the true nature of those around us as we emanate and reflect the true radiance, the source radiance back to these people. So that's sort of our focus, is like as we move into this chaotic world where things are out of our control, this is something we can control. We can emanate that gentle energy, and we can let ourselves reflect back that radiance that is the source radiance, which is the best light, which is the light that can heal because it restores. Leading up to this, we have Nauthiz, which is the rune of need. clearly you've been looking around and seeing that there are needs that need to be tended to. And this is one of the reasons that you're here and you found this, and that this is like, okay, this is something that I would like to try. I hope, or at least to consider. Maybe even if you try it in your dreams or in a lucid dream state, this is something that you can add to the universe in a good way. What is going to help you at this point when you're moving out into the chaoticness of the hailstorm of the world is basically to find that sense of belonging. We have manas, which is the rune of humanity and your part in it. So it's basically finding that sense of belonging where people will meet you with joy, kind of thing. So it's basically your sense of belonging, not like where you belong, like not like your place, but in terms of where you feel that sense of belonging, where you feel that you can look at each other and they will reflect your joy back to you. So make sure that you have that. That's really a good place to start, as long as you have that as a base, like to have that just to remind yourself that this is somewhere you can come back to, because a lot of people are not feeling very joyful right now, especially. And but even if the people around you that do generally reflect your joy, even if none of us are feeling particularly joyous, it's something that we can do, and it's somewhere that you can go where you feel that you belong in a good way, and that's going to help you be able to go then back out into things and just do that exercise, the emanation and the reflection. What isn't going to help is we have Raido reversed. Raido is the rune of the journey, reversed on the lower line. I think I'm going to read this as, I'm going to read this as don't give up, basically, before you even start, because you're going to say, okay, a need that needs to be tended, and you're going to go to the door and you're going to open the door and you're going to see this crazy wild hailstorm, and you're going to close the door and go, nope. But you wanted to do this, so giving up before you start is not a thing. Give it a try. Get that emanation happening, and then step out and just remember your friends and family, or remember the love, because that's what's going to help you get there, is just that feeling of belonging, that feeling of love, that feeling of joy. Recall that to your mind and to your heart, and that's going to help you step out into the hailstorm. Your next step on the path line, we have Birchana, which is the rune of the birch tree. It has to say birch. It's I'm using birch runes. It's the rune of beginnings and birth. This is something new that you're doing, and this is the center issue, the center rune of the entire spread. So it's basically, this is pinning the whole thing. This is this new thing that you are doing, this new you that you are birthing, where you are going into the world trying a gentler tack of doing this, trying a gentler tactic of going out there, and instead of like yelling at everybody to be nice to each other, you're going to basically go out there protecting yourself with this emanation, because that's one of the things that it does, is when you're emanating moon energy, like this, what this is for you, you're going to find that you feel very protected by this. This is something that's going to make you feel calm and safe, at the same time as you reflect back the radiance, which is the best, the source radiance that is in all things, including air. You are reflecting this back and healing whatever it's coming from with its own light. And so this is a new you that you're bringing into the world, and this is very exciting, and it's going to bring all that goodness with it, this gentler you. What is going to help? We have the blank rune. The blank rune is just being open to what you're going to find while you're out there, but also the blank rune always has a connection to the divine, whatever the divine is for you. And this is going to be part of it. This is where the radiance, the source radiance is coming from. Whatever source is for you, whatever the divine is for you, this is the radiance that we're reflecting. So just to tap into that and be aware of, sort of just to keep that in mind, because that's going to help you. What isn't going to help you is we have Uruz, which is the rune of the wild ox. This is sort of following along the line. It's like, okay, well, I won't give up, but I'm just going to be really immovable, and I'm going to just be out there being forceful. We have, it's the aurochs, so it's strength and it's stubbornness, and that's not how it's going to work. The moon is very naturally changeable. It's gentle. You might even do one of the things that I've been doing with the lunar energy is just basically when I do this reflecting back, when I do this emanation and when I do the reflecting back, I'm only reflecting back what the phase is. So it's full moon right now where I am and when I am at this point. So this is where I would be wanting to reflect back, like almost at maximum strength. And I'm not efforting on this, to use that term. I'm basically just reflecting, but I'm sort of being aware that what is reflecting is going to be that. But as the moon wanes, you're not going to feel as pressured to reflect as much, which is going to be, but let that shift for you. Let that shift for you naturally, because maybe you have a different sense of things with your lunar energies and the way that the moon and you resonate. But either way, you're not going to go out there with a very solar energy and just blaze. First of all, you'll wear yourself out because we're emanating moon, not sun. At the moment, you can emanate sun other times. But this exercise is about emanating moon. And so what you're not going to do, what isn't going to help, is just to go out there very forcefully and very stubbornly. Let it be a very effortless thing where you are emanating the energy, but also the reflecting is happening like on your surface. It's not even coming from you. You're reflecting back the radiance that's around you. And so for that, I think connecting with whatever the divine is for you is going to be a big help. And that's what's being shown here. Your next step on the path line, we have Avas, which is the rune of the horse. This has to do with movement and spirit. It is reversed on the path line. So you're basically going to slow yourself right down. You're not going to be running yourself ragged on this. You're going to feel comfortable being still. And that's definitely an important step with this, is just that comfort with being still. You don't feel like, even though there's a storm all around you, buffeting you around, you don't feel like you have to run around trying to get away from that. You're being very, very gentle here. What's going to help is we have Tivas. Tivas is Tyr's rune. Tyr is the warrior god, but a lot of this is like he's basically a king. He has to deal with maintaining balance and taking care of the things that need to be taken care of. And that's what is really going to be helping you a lot in this step, where you can be still, but what's important about that is that you're taking care of the things around you. You're making sure that you're doing the things that you need to be doing, your duties and responsibilities to do that. And also seeing what you're doing here as a bit of a quest. But I think that taking care of your duties and responsibilities is also going to keep you comfortable enough that you're going to be able to do this without worrying about other things and trying to run off and do them. Which is why we have Gabo here underneath, which is what's not helping, is Gabo, which is the rune of the gift. This has to do with agreements, decisions, plans, and goals. It's always an exchange. There's a sense of obligations. There's a sense of there are things I have to do, and that it's that you're sort of being worried about them. You feel like you're being drawn away by them, and let's not make it be a thing where you're getting dragged off to do them. Let's choose to do them, and that's where Tyr comes in. So if you start to feel like, oh, but I have to do the dishes, or I have to take out the garbage, or I have to tidy up, and here I just want to save the world, it's like, well, you got to take care of yourself. You have to have a shower sometimes, and get yourself comfortable. So this is where you want to take care of your duties and responsibilities. Make sure that this is something that you are wanting to do and that you are choosing to do, and that this is something that you will find yourself doing before you even tell yourself to, because this is something that is part of maintaining all of this. And that will help you to keep that stillness and that sort of inherent stillness. You're still going to be not running around, but you're still going to be active. A lot of it's going to be internally, because you're not being buffeted around anymore. But definitely to do that, because that'll help you with that. And what's going to help, what this is all going to lead you to is we have Yira, which is the rune of the harvest, and also time. So we're definitely going to be seeing fruits of your labors on this. Even if it's only a greater sense of calm within you, even if it's only a greater sense of protectedness from you are still going to be seeing the fruits of your labors from this, and you're going to feel very good about it. You may even see the fruits of your labors in the people around you. Like if you're just basically going out there and just reflecting back their source radiance at them, over them gently, not like in a forceful way, but just like letting that being reflected back to them and over them, you may see improvements by this point. It'll take a few steps, but you may actually see that. But either way, it's going to be very satisfying and nourishing and abundant feeling. it's definitely going to be a good thing. You're going to be seeing that. You're going to be seeing the results, and it's going to be good results. So that, card number 2, people, is your reading about emanating moon. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 3, people. So let's start by turning this card from the White Light Oracle and see what we have for emanating moon for you. We have Queen of the Nagas. So this is about water healing. For all of this, I mean, the moon has that sort of water representation because it, of course, affects the tides. It affects us because we have a lot of water in us. So this is about healing, and it's a water healing kind of thing. So the element is going to be water, all the things that have to do, emotion, intuition, heart, flow, all of that kind of thing. And so this is really going to be, this may be something that is going to really resonate with you when you do this, when you attempt this, is just that sense of healing using the water element. So let's get some runes down. Neat. I'm going to lay down the entire reading, and then I'm going to read it. That was like that. How are you? You doing okay? I know. Rare times. It's rare times indeed. But that's why we're doing it where I am. And when I am right now, we're having a full moon like tomorrow. It's pretty much full now, which is one of the reasons I wanted to do moon readings. Moon readings on rune readings. I have seen Hagalaz in every reading so far in this set. This is neat. But yeah, that whole thing. And where I am also, I mean, this reading is for whenever you find it. But for me, I'm currently a week away from the winter solstice where I am because I'm in Canada. And yeah. Okay, central issue. We have Ans is reversed. Ans is the rune of communication and manifestation and expression. It is reversed, so there's going to be a lot of listening involved. There's going to be a lot of being silent involved with this, which makes sense. I mean, you're not going to get on the bus and go, I'm emanating moon. You could, but it would kind of defeat the purpose. That sounds like something I would do when I was young enough to do that kind of thing. So basically your focus with this, and part of this is just that we're going to be addressing it's almost like an inner communication because the moon is affecting the waters and the waters flow within us, so to speak, the fluids. And so that's part of it. It's a means of inner communication, but it's also your inner communication with yourself and whatever the divine is for you and whatever source is for you, because that's what you're going to be looking for and addressing, and then allowing yourself to reflect out over those that you're going to be healing with this, while you maintain, that gentle moon energy within you that also taps into source, kind of thing, that gentle glow that you are feeling from source. What is leading up to this? You've obviously felt that there are needs in the world that need to be tended to. We have Nauthis, which is the rune of need. This is the second reading that this has shown up in this spot for this set, which is neat. So yes, just sense of needs in the world that need to be done. So you're going to go out quietly into the world and do this gentle inner expression, which is going to help without people even realizing it. What's going to help you is we have Kaunaz, which is the rune of the torch or the fire. This is something that starts small like an ember and grows into a blaze. It's expansion, it's opening out. And so this is sort of what you're doing. You're going to go out there, and this may also refer to taking this in a cyclic way. I was just saying in one of the other sessions, in one of the other readings in this session, that one of the things I've been doing is when I do this, I am basically gearing the level of reflection to the current phase that the moon is doing. So right now we're coming into a full moon. There's going to be a lot of reflection, and I'm going to notice that. Again, this is not something with effort. This is something where you are emanating the energy, which allows a reflection from a surface level. And the only thing that you're doing is you're making sure that you're reflecting the source radiance, which is the best light and the most healing light, because it's reminding things and people who they are truly, deeply. So this is going to be about expansion. It's going to be about going out and just letting yourself have that opening out and expansion in the world, and just building on that. Just basically, the more you do it, the more you're going to want to. But also letting it build as the moon waxes, letting it gently diminish as the moon wanes, that kind of thing. What isn't going to help, and I've seen this one in this spot in this session as well, is either reversed. This is basically the journey rune, and reversed on the lower line. It's kind of like giving up before you start. You might have this good idea, it's like, okay, things need to be done. We need to take care of these needs. And then you step out into the outside and see the mess, and you're like, nope, nope, not today. It's like, no, do it. Because honestly, it takes very little effort, and it's just a matter of gentle focus as you do this. So bring yourself back up to where you're not going to give up before you start. You're actually going to go out and you're going to start small, and you're just going to let it gently build. And that's how we get to the center rune in this whole spread, which is pinning the spread, which is the blank rune. This is basically being open. This is allowing yourself to go where you haven't before, just mentally, and just being open to this new experience. And also it has that reference where you're connecting to the divine, whatever the divine is for you. So this is sort of the source of the source energy. Whatever this is for you, whatever source is for you, whatever the divine is for you, this is what you're connecting to on a mythic level. And letting yourself emanate moon, and letting from the surface, because you're not putting this out, then that would wear you out. You're letting the radiance that you're perceiving reflect back to where it's coming from, and healing with that source radiance, whatever it's coming from, deeply sometimes, because there's a lot of overlay with a lot of people and things nowadays. They won't even know, like, honestly. And this is not like, this is not like taking away anybody's will. This is just like gently letting it wash over, and they can choose to acknowledge it or not. What is going to help you, though, is that you're going to see the fruits of your labors almost right away, whether this is just for you and how much better you feel, because honestly, when you do this, you're going to notice that you're going to feel very safe. You're going to feel very protected, because things aren't going to be getting at you, because it's you emanating, and then it's also you reflecting. So things are not going to be coming at you. So that even if that's all that you're noticing right away is just this feeling of feeling more protected and feeling calmer, you're going to notice that. But you may also notice other things. It's the rune of the harvest and also time, so keeps you focused in the present moment, but also you are definitely going to be noticing the fruits of your labor happening from this. You're going to be seeing results. What isn't going to help is we have Fehu, which is the rune of wealth and worth. We're a very yang-oriented society, and so there's a sense of like, yeah, what do I have to show for this? I don't have anything in my hands, anything bright and shiny that is, going to get me money. So this is wealth and worth. This is the cattle. It's the wealth that you tend. So, but there's a worry about that. It's like, you're saying, okay, well, what's in this for me? What are people, and it's not even what's in it for me, because you're getting these results, but it's kind of like nobody's going to think this is anything. Like nobody's going to see this as a worthy pursuit. Whatever to them, because you could just bring yourself back up, and it's like you've already seen results. You're already feeling better, and you already feel a difference in the things around you when you do this. Like it's gradual and it's gentle, but there is a noticeable change, especially the more you do it. So if you start to feel like, oh, well, it doesn't fit into the yang society and all that, it's like that's because you're doing yin stuff at this point. So let's just... It's kind of a yang yin. It's kind of a yang yin, because you're reflecting out. So you are penetrating to a certain extent, but not in a harsh way, in a moon way, because the moon, it's not, you can look right at the moon, and it's a way that you're reflecting this radiance in a way that is very, very gentle and very, very healing and comforting. So your next step on the path line is, and again, I've seen this, Hagalaz in this spot. This is not even the first time this session. This is like a lot of resonant rhyming readings of runes to be alliterative. At that point, you're going to feel like, let's take this show on the road. That was my phone. Let's take this show on the road. Let's go out into where it is chaotic and things are out of our control. We have Hagalaz, which is the rune of the hailstorm. So it's chaos and things that are out of our control and like wild weather. And you're going to say, okay, well, it worked well where I started. Let's see what happens when I move out into like a city street or a subway or somewhere where there's a lot of chaotic energies. And what's going to help you with that is we have Gabo, which is the rune of the gift. This has to do with agreements, decisions, goals, and plans. Sometimes it has to do with one-on-one interactions. So maybe you want to take somebody with you who knows and who maybe is going to do this with you. But I really see this as commit to this. Like if you're going to go out into the storm so that this doesn't happen again, where you're like, nope. If you're going to go out into that setting where it's a lot of wild energies, make yourself a commitment. Like maybe just like, I'm just going to do this for 10 minutes, or like, I'm just going to do it here today. And then I'm going to go home and regroup. So have a plan for this, have an agreement with yourself for this, because then it's not like an infinite thing where you feel obligated to be miserable. No. Have a thing that you've agreed, I'm going to do this, and then we'll see. And then that'll make it easier, and then you can stay if you want. What isn't going to help is we have Ivaz, which is the rune of the yew tree. This has to do with patience, slow growth, slow development, taking things step by step. And there's going to be a thing where you may feel like, I wish I could just go out and do this and instantly, poof, everything's better. And that's not going to work that way. It's a very gradual, very gentle thing. So it's a very subtle thing. It's not something you're going to be able to rush. And this may rankle you a bit. This may be like, this is something, and I can feel that it's doing something, but I'm not seeing results immediately, except when I was doing it, here. And it was feeling really good for me, but I'm going out into this storm and I'm still looking around and everybody's still crazy. It's like, yeah, but you've introduced something that is going to ultimately help, even if you don't notice it immediately. So this is, again, bring yourself back up to where you have made this commitment. You've made this decision where you're like, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to do this for a little bit, or I'm just going to do this in this place for a little bit. Just have an agreement. Like say, I'm just, this, because this is a lot to throw yourself into the middle of. And then we'll see. Your final rune on the path line, we have Thurizaz reversed. Thurizaz is the rune of the challenge. It's the thorn, the giant, the gateway. Reversed, it's like when it's upright, it's like an open door. When it's reversed, it's a thorn wall. So you're going to be like, okay, this works. I've seen that it works. It's something that I know is doing good in the world and that is helping and that is bringing healing with like lunar and also water type elemental energy. I'm going to do this, and I am willing to make this a quest of mine, even if it doesn't show me results, even if I don't get credit, even if I don't, this is something that works and I know it works. So I'm just going to embrace this as a challenge, and we're going to see where we can help with it, kind of thing. So with Thurizaz reverse is kind of an impossible feeling challenge, but it's the kind of thing you can sort of embrace and go, yes, but it's mine. This is something that I am going to take on, that I know that I can do, and that even if it's something that's a life's work and that it's not something that I'm ever going to see a final result from, I'm still going to do this because I know it helps and I know that it does not harm. So that, card number 3, people, is your reading for Emanating Moon. I wish you, checking the thing, I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 4, people. So let's get started by turning card number 4 and seeing what we have. So Salve Polluti. I am 99% sure of what this one is. I'm just going to check my quick card. I have not done the White Light Oracle in a while, so I just want to be absolutely sure. Problem solving, clean cells, and clearing toxins at a cell level. Yes. So that's basically what this is. Emanating Moon, where you are reflecting back everything's source radiance. And this goes deep, because this is going to resonate with their source energy, with their source radiance, with their source light. And that's why it can heal so deeply, because it reminds them, through all their layering that they've done, through all the overlays that they've done, and all the layers of armor, of cynicism, of secular, well, the secular is fine, but all the layers of snide and whatever that you have to lay on to sort of survive. this is going to cut right through that, because it's speaking directly to the source energy, to their spark of divine, whatever that is for you. So this is what this is about. This is where we connect that deeply. So let's get some runes down and see. Ooh, very good. So I'm gonna lay down the entire reading, and then I'm gonna read it. Ooh. Hagalaz wins for appearing in every single reading in this session. So that's interesting. A lot of these have. And it's not just like, okay, well, there's only 25 runes. There's only 24 runes in a blank rune. So you're going to see repeats in every, 11 rune session. But it's like we're seeing the same runes prominently, which is very exciting. It's like, I'm seeing the same letters in this book as I see in every other book. It's like, yeah, because it's the same alphabet. And there's only 26. And look at how gorgeous this is. Look at this spread. Look at it. Look at it. We start with chaos. We end with the breaking of the day. I love it. Okay, so your central issue card number 4, people. We have Thurisaz, which is the rune of the challenge. This is the thorn, the giant, the gateway. It is upright, so it is an open door challenge. This is something that you are going to be like, yep, this is something I can do. This is something that I am going to try, because it's so easy and it's effortless and it doesn't take effort, and the only effort it takes is focus, where you're going to be like, I'm just going to continually remind myself and be mindful that I'm going to emanate moon in this situation. And what that means, as I explained in the beginning, is we're going to allow ourselves to emanate whatever the moon energy is for us. And as such, we are going to, from our surface, be reflecting light. And the light that we are going to choose to reflect is the source radiance in all things. There's source radiance in air. Like, there's source radiance in everyone walking around. So we're going to reflect that back. And we're not even going to mean to do that, because when we emanate moon, it happens. We're just going to be, but we just have to choose what light we're going to reflect. We're going to really focus on the source radiance that we're going to reflect. So this is our challenge that we are really looking forward to taking on, and we're going to do that. Leading up to this, things have been really chaotic. Things have been crazy. It's been a hailstorm out there. That's Hagalaz. It's the hailstorm. It's chaos. It's things that are out of our control. It's weather. It's natural forces and natural energies, but it's also just like things that are crazy. And this is what's led us up to this. It's like, this is something we can control, and nobody even has to know. Like, this is so, it's not, you're not going to step up and announce this. You're just basically just going to quietly do this. It's almost like you fade from being visible when you do this. You're still going to be visible. Don't think you're invisible doing this, but you're going to, don't like wear nothing or something. It's like, because nobody can see me. Like, no, you're going to be still a body, but nobody's going to know you're doing this. You could just look like a tired commuter on the subway, It's like, just, you're going to be doing that. But you're also going to be, on a very subtle level, changing the way things are around you, which is something very nice and lovely. What is going to help you? We have Savilo, which is the sun. Interesting, because we're doing the lunar exercise, but Savilo is also source energy. So this is sort of, the moon shines because of the sun. So you're going to connect with your own source energy, which is going to help you do this. You're also going to be reflecting your source energy, mostly also to yourself, which is really, really good. So whatever it is in the world that whenever you connect with it, whenever you think about it, whenever you do it, gives you energy, gives you nourishment, gives you even joy. This is something that whenever you do this, you feel like you can do it all day. And so this is what you're going to connect to, and this is what's going to help you when you do this, when you go out into the world and emanate moon and reflect back source radiance, because you have to know your own source to help keep you healed and things like that before. Well, you could do it without, but it's easier if you do know what it feels like to let your source energy heal you, and then that's going to help you go out and do that. What isn't going to help you is we have Ivaz, which is the rune of the yew tree, and this is patience, slow growth, slow development, taking things step by step. It's in the lower line, so it's what isn't helping you, because you're going to feel a bit impatient about this, because you're coming from this chaos. The chaos has been going on for a while, and you're going to be like, I wish I could fix this immediately, but I can't, and it's hard because I want to do this, but I want to do this and then like be able to be done and go have a coffee. You can still go have a coffee, but it's not something that's going, it's very, very subtle. It's a very, very subtle thing. It does work, but it's extremely subtle and very, very gentle. So if you're wanting it to go and work immediately, that's not going to happen. There will be results you're going to see, but I don't have Yira in this particular reading, so it's not really going to be something that's going to be super apparent. But it is something that you're going to feel to a certain extent, even if it's just subtly. So bring yourself back up to source energy, keep yourself energized, keep yourself, with your spirits up, and keep that going on, because it's something that you can do, and you know that you're at least helping to heal yourself with it, if not everything around you. Your next step on the path line, and pinning the entire reading in the middle, is Gabo, which is the rune of the gift. This has to do with agreements, decisions, goals, and plans. A gift is always an exchange, so there may even be a one-on-one interaction involved with this. You may have people you can trust that you can tell about this. Maybe you even have people who would be willing to do this with you, to go out at the same time as you and do this in the world. But just to commit to this, basically to give yourself, you basically say to yourself, okay, I'm just going to go out and I'm going to do this for this amount of time on this day. You can even just start with that, but just you can commit to this and make this into you've crossed the threshold into wanting to do this. So just bring yourself out and say, okay, I'm going to make this agreement with myself that we're going to do this at this time in this place, and we're going to see. What's going to help you with that? We have Kaunaz, which is the rune of the torch or the fire, and this has to do with opening out and expansion. So however shy you normally are, and this is something you want to do where nobody has to know, you're going to go out, you're going to have this time that you're going to do it. When you go out into that, let yourself open out at that time. Let yourself be, the torch, the not so much fire, but it's going to be that glow. You're going to go out there and do that. You're going to be emanating, and it's going to be radiance that you're going to be reflecting, even if people can't see it, even if it's not apparent, but it's going to be something that you're putting out there. And look at this, it's right next to the sun. So you're going to be taking, the energy you're getting from source yourself, and this is part of what you're going to be emanating, although it's not going to be coming from you. You're really going to be reflecting back. The focus is to reflect back source radiance from those around you, so that it can heal them, so that it can resonate with their source radiance that is being reflected, and then that will heal them from inside, which is really exciting. What isn't going to help is we have Fehu, which is the rune of wealth and worth. This is basically like, what do I have to show for this? It's very, very subtle. I'm not going to get money for this. I'm not going to be I might not even get credit for this. This is something that, I'm just doing because it improves the world, darn it. And so there might be that sense of, because the world is very yang-centric and we want to, have something loud and shiny to show for things, but so that might be a little bit bothersome, or people might even question, like you might even be worried that people are going to say, what are you doing, if they do know. Now you're only going to talk about this with people that you trust completely, so that sort of eliminates that. But just, there is going to be that questioning of like, what is this worth? Like, what is the value of this? Bring yourself back up if that starts to be the case to where you have committed to this. So first of all, on the path line, you've crossed the threshold. You saw this chaos in the world. You've crossed the threshold of let's try this. You've committed to trying this. And what helps with that is just letting yourself open out. It's a very natural thing. It's a very subtle thing. So just let that happen and we'll see. Next step on the path line, we have Manas, which is the rune of humanity and your part in it. This is where you're facing others with joy. And that's something that's going to happen, because when you emanate moon, you're going to feel very safe, very protected, because things aren't getting in when you do this. It's all emanation. So you are putting out this emanation of this energy. And then on top of that, you're reflecting the radiance, and specifically the radiance, not anything nasty that's coming at you. You're reflecting the radiance, which is the source, whatever that is for you. And so there is going to be a sense where you're going to start to feel like you are facing others with joy. You're going to be facing the world with joy, and the world is going to be reflecting that back to you to a certain extent. What is going to help you with that? We have Nauthiz reversed. I'm going to read this a couple ways. First of all, Nauthiz is the rune of need, so it always means tend your needs, but when it's reversed, it means drop everything and tend your needs. So if there are things that you absolutely need to be taken care of, don't put those off. Make sure that you're taking care of your needs, especially your emergency needs, immediately. Like, don't let any of this slide. And that's going to help you maintain this focus. It's going to help you maintain your decision to do this, your commitment to it, and it's going to help you face others with joy. So get that oxygen mask on first before attempting to assist another, basically. The way I'm also going to read this is inner needs. Make sure that you are taking care of your inner needs. So if there's things you need to do, if you need to stop doing this and let your mind rest, if you need to, spend some time reading, if you need to spend some time looking at the wall, which is certainly a thing, because like whenever I have holidays, I usually take my first day as just wall staring time. I just have a lot of time where I just sit and stare and and just let my mind like work out all the crap, whatever it wants to go through, just like not tell it what to do and let it just relax. And so while staring time, let yourself do that if that's what you need. But it's going to be the inner needs that you also need to take care of. What isn't going to help is we have Isa, which is the rune of ice. So the way I'm going to read this is this. This is the standstill rune, stillness rune. In an upper line, in like the path line or the upper line, I would read this as stillness through which clarity comes. I'm going to read this a few ways in this particular instance. First of all, you may be worried about that you're not doing anything because you're physically not going to be doing much when you do this. It's stillness. And that's kind of worrying because for the same reason that you might be worried, it was like, what do I have to show for this? Am I making money for it? What worth is it? So there's that sense of guilt about not looking like you're doing anything, but you're doing so much. The other thing is, it's a warning based on this one. So you're not going to only do this and then do nothing. You're not turning into a rock. You basically still need to take care of yourself. You still need to drop everything and take care of needs if the needs are that urgent. So please do that. Don't do nothing. Don't turn into actual ice. The other thing I'm going to read this as is to have it stop being dynamic, because even though the moon is quiet and gentle and still, the moon shifts throughout the entire month. The moon is never the same. And when I do this, I generally will sort of match what I'm considering that I'm reflecting based on the current phase. So, for example, if it's like a full moon, like it almost is for me right now when I'm recording this, not necessarily when you're watching it, I would be allowing for a much stronger reflection of the radiance that I'm reflecting back, as opposed to when we're going into a waning moon and we're almost to the new moon point, and I would be allowing, just understanding that probably not as much is going to be reflecting back. Or maybe that it would just be a finer reflection at that point. So we're not doing this the same way every time. We're not going to get ourselves into a rut this way. So bring yourself back up to, if that starts to be a case or a worry or any of that, bring yourself back up to where you are making sure that your inner needs are tended and that you are dropping everything to tend your needs if they become an emergency. What this is ultimately going to lead you to is a lot of revelation, a lot of illumination, and just you're going to feel like a light in the world. This is, you are already, but you're going to feel even more like one, and that you're bringing good and joy into the world. We have Dagaz, which is the rune of the breaking of the day. It's a real breakthrough for you in your life as far as how you can take care of things. Again, we're starting with Hagalaz, where things are out of your control, and we're ending with Dalgaz, which is, this is a thing I can control. This is a thing that I can do in the world that I know does good in the world, even if it's gentle, even if it's subtle. The moon up in the sky gives comfort and light when you can see it. I'm in Toronto, so a lot of times it's cloudy, but anyway, it's still there. And when we do this, even if people can't see it, the emanation is happening, and you're putting a good energy into the world, and you're reflecting back the best of everything around you, even if it's subtle and even if it's gentle and even if nobody even realizes, but then things start to feel better. So that, card number 4, people, is your reading for Emanating Moon. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.